Opening the vault, the 49ers' hidden Super Bowl surge. If you have been feeling that heavy familiar weight of off-season anxiety, you are definitely not alone. The constant draining noise surrounding Brandon Ayuk, the agonizing salary cap puzzles, and that persistent cloud of uncertainty about whether this team can truly scale the mountain and get back to the Super Bowl after watching rival celebrations. It is enough to make any faithful fan lose a little sleep. But today, we are turning the page. What is coming out of the San Francisco 49ers organization right now is genuinely, beautifully overwhelming. And I mean that in the absolute best possible way. This is not manufactured media hype. This is not the standard wishful thinking of a biased fan base trying to convince themselves everything is fine. This is real, substantive, analytically grounded optimism about a fierce group of young football players who are developing into exactly what this franchise needs them to be, at the exact right moment. The Super Bowl window is not closing. It is cracked wide open, and today we are going to break down every single piece of evidence proving why. Let us start with a name that might surprise you the most. When people talk about a 49ers breakout candidate heading into this year, the conversation naturally gravitates toward the flashy positions. We talk about Ricky Pearsall and his undeniable star potential. We look at Mychal Williams and the raw, violent impact he can bring to that defensive line. Or maybe we look at the young cornerbacks developing under the strict watchful eye of Fred Warner. Those are all incredibly exciting conversations to have. But national analysts recently went a completely different direction, identifying an under-the-radar breakout candidate who holds the literal keys to the kingdom for San Francisco. That man is right guard Dominic Pooney. He is a third-year player, a former third-round pick out of Kansas who has quietly started every single game since arriving in San Francisco. And right now, he is standing on the precipice of a leap that could completely rewrite the narrative surrounding this entire offensive line. Hashtag the unsung hero of the trenches. To understand why this matters so enormously for the offense, we have to look back at the foundation. Pooney earned an elite 80.5 offensive grade and an 81.5 run-blocking grade from Pro Football Focus during his rookie season. Think about how staggering those numbers are for a rookie third-round selection thrust immediately into a high-stakes starting role. Now, his sophomore season saw those grades dip slightly, but look closer at the tape. He still only allowed a single sack across the entire year. Let that sink in for a moment. One single sack allowed in an entire season of brutal NFL football while playing through immense physical pain, while learning on the fly, and while dealing with a nagging knee issue that severely limited his preparation throughout the year. That is the baseline of what he provides this offensive line. Now try to imagine what his ceiling looks like heading into year 3, fully healthy and focused. Offensive line coach Chris Forster recently pulled back the curtain on Pooney's development, explaining the full context of that sophomore slump. Forster revealed that Pooney was developing beautifully before a painful PCL injury suffered during the preseason completely stunted his growth. He fought through the injury, showing unbelievable heart by playing through it every week, which was outstanding for the team. But the real tragedy was that he could not practice the way he needed to. He could not put in the reps. That lack of practice severely hurt his technique and made it almost impossible to build on the stellar foundation of his rookie year. That is a coach telling you that the slight decline in Pooney's numbers was entirely an issue of circumstance, not talent. The underlying trajectory has never been in question. Forster also shared something deeply revealing about Pooney's mindset. He noted that during his rookie year, Pooney was basically flying by the seat of his pants, relying purely on raw athleticism and natural comfort rather than refined technique. Forrester kept warning him that he could not survive in the NFL like that forever, and it eventually caught up to him late in the year. But look at the character of the man. Pooney sat down after that first season, evaluated his flaws, and came back determined to build a technical foundation that would allow his athleticism to become truly dominant. If he takes that expected leap in pass protection this year, Pooney will ascend into one of the most well-regarded feared interior linemen in the entire National Football League. Hashtag unlocking the ground game and new weapons. This individual rise matters because the team desperately needs the offensive line to perform at a higher level than last year. One of the primary criticisms of this offense heading into the season is the perceived lack of consistently dominant run production. Film evaluators have pointed out that the only thing keeping San Francisco from completely running away with the top spot in supporting cast rankings is that the offensive line simply has not asserted itself on the ground the way physical teams like the Bears or the Rams do. Analysts have gone as far as calling the traditional run game the only missing piece holding this offense back from undisputed league dominance. The passing success rate under Brock Purdy is already elite, sitting right at first in the NFL. Purdy has proved he is the top quarterback in the league in that category. But the ground game must find its teeth again. And a massive leap from Dominic Puni is the most direct, violent path to fixing that deficiency. But a dominant line needs a weapon to clear paths for, which brings us to the running back situation behind our superstar, Christian McCaffrey. Legendary film analysts have dropped some truth bombs this week that should have you absolutely thrilled about the depth of this backfield. After grinding the tape on rookie running back Keelan Black, experts came away so deeply impressed that they made a massive proclamation. They didn't just give the standard polite compliments you hear about every draft pick. They straight up stated they would not be surprised if Black cleanly earns the backup running back role behind McCaffrey based purely on the sheer quality of his college film. When meticulous film gurus make a claim like that, you listen. They are giving a rookie a direct path to becoming the number 2 option behind the most dynamic offensive weapon in the league. What makes this assessment so powerful is how Black plays the game. He is tough, he is exceptionally physical, he fights for those hard-earned yards, and he possesses a distinct burst of juice that perfectly fits the identity of this offense. Kyle Shanahan's system makes incredibly strict, non-negotiable demands of its running backs. You must have vision. You must have patience at the line of scrimmage, and you must possess the absolute fearlessness to hit holes decisively instead of dancing around waiting for a perfect lane to open. McCaffrey is the gold standard at this. Having a backup who genuinely mirrors that system fit, rather than just being an average back inserted into a good scheme, is an absolute luxury. If Black's tape holds true, the 49ers have successfully answered one of the biggest question marks on their roster. #A message to the faithful. Before we dive into the defensive side of the ball and that massive looming trade rumor that everyone is whispering about, I want to take a quick moment to connect with all of you watching out there. Hashtag a quick intermission. We put an incredible amount of hard work, sleepless nights, and pure dedication into producing deep dive documentaries like this for you. Our goal is to bring you the deepest insights into the team we all love. Every single subscription we receive acts as a massive wave of motivation for us to keep pushing, keep grinding, and keep delivering the content you deserve. If you love what we are doing here at NFL Focus, please take a quick second right now to hit that subscribe button, smash the like button, share this video with your fellow Niner faithful, and drop a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts on Dominic Puni and Keelan Black. Help us grow this incredible community together. We truly appreciate your support. #the birth of a three-headed monster. Now, let us flip the script and talk about the defense, because what is happening on that side of the ball is nothing short of terrifying for the rest of the league. The legendary Fred Warner himself recently came out and labeled the young defensive line trio of Alfred Collins, C.J. West, and Michael Williams as a legitimate, certified three-headed monster. These are all young, hungry players entering their crucial second and third professional seasons. They possess the kind of rare physical tools that make their ceiling absolutely limitless. On top of that, you have Upton Stout heading into the year with direct, personal mentorship from Warner. That bond is already producing visible, undeniable results in how Stout approaches the game mentally and physically. Then you add an absolute force like Osa Odigizua into the mix. This is a man coming off a 52 pressure season with the Cowboys, who openly stated to the media that for the past 5 years, he hasn't even scratched the surface of the player he truly is. Imagine unlocking that kind of hunger within this defensive culture. Inside the walls of the 49ers building, the belief in Alfred Collins and Michael Williams is not just polite optimism, it is genuine, roaring enthusiasm. The front office is not hedging their bets when they talk about these kids. They are operating on the hard evidence they see every single day in closed practices and intense film sessions. It is evidence suggesting that the recent draft classes hit at a much higher rate than outside media observers realize. The public hasn't seen it yet because these young players haven't had massive, consistent exposure time in regular season games. But the people who evaluate talent for a living, the ones watching them bleed and sweat every single day, are completely sold. When you couple that internal organizational conviction with public praise from a leader of Fred Warner's immense stature, you have every reason to believe a defensive renaissance is arriving. The Max Crosby conundrum. And of course, we have to talk about the spectacular rumor that refuses to go away, the Max Crosby conversation. It keeps popping up in headlines, and it deserves an honest, strategic look. Insiders recently offered the smartest possible take on how John Lynch should handle a potential blockbuster move for Crosby, and it aligns perfectly with the championship DNA of this franchise. The verdict? Love the idea of Crosby in a red and gold uniform, but the 49ers must wait a bit before diving all into the deep end. The reasoning behind this patience is incredibly sound. The absolute last thing a smart franchise wants to do is watch a large group of core players grow old and expensive simultaneously right after you have sold off all your valuable draft assets. The very assets you desperately need to replenish the roster and stay young. But a very specific scenario changes that calculus completely. Picture this. If the 49ers blast out of the gate to a dominant 6-1 start, while the Raiders crater to a miserable 1-6 record, it will become obvious that Crosby cannot save their sinking ship. That is the exact psychological moment when John Lynch picks up the phone and strikes. This isn't a dismissal of the Max Crosby dream at all. It is the intelligent, cold-blooded framing of when and how to execute it. You do not mortgage your long-term future before you even know if your current core needs the upgrade. You wait until the opening month of the season tells you exactly where you stand, where the Raiders stand, and whether the trade cost for Crosby has plummeted because Las Vegas has become desperate enough to accept far less than a massive haul of multiple first-round picks. It is patient, it is calculated, and it reflects a front office that understands the profound difference between making headlines and winning Lombardi trophies. #The road to glory starts in Melbourne. When you step back and look at the grand tapestry of this roster, the picture is beautiful. The 49ers are set to open this historic season across the globe in Melbourne, Australia, participating in one of the most unique regular season games in NFL history. And they are going to do it with a roster that is demonstrably more talented, younger in key developmental positions, and structurally more sound than the battle-scarred team that clawed through injuries last year. Brock Purdy stands firmly as the undisputed franchise quarterback, surrounded by the absolute best collection of lethal skill position weapons he has ever had in his life. The defensive line has secured the explosive, edge-rushing presence it has desperately missed for years in Odafe Oweh. The young core is blossoming into exactly what the front office envisioned when they invested heavy draft capital into them. Despite the grueling off-season drama and the complex financial gymnastics, this organization has never been more aligned around a singular, crystal-clear vision of what a championship team looks like. Every single individual storyline is a thread building toward greatness. Dominic Pooney ascending into a powerhouse anchor on the interior line. Ricky Pearsall finally getting a clean, fully healthy runway to show the football world what a star-level receiver looks like when unlocked by Kyle Shanahan's genius. Keelan Black stepping up to claim a violent, definitive role right behind McCaffrey. Michael Williams returning from his ankle injury with a burning desire to prove that his draft class was elite. And Upton Stout taking that massive second-year leap that his veteran leaders are already guaranteeing. All of these stories woven together paint a portrait of a franchise that isn't just surviving the off-season anxiety, they are actively evolving to conquer the league. Final thoughts from NFL Focus. Niner Nation, the stage is set and the journey ahead is going to be nothing short of legendary. Before we sign off today, we want to extend one last heartfelt thank you to our incredible community. Producing these documentaries takes an immense amount of time, energy, and dedication from our team, and we do it all out of pure passion for the game. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video, share it with your friends, and leave your thoughts in the comments section below. Tell us, does this wave of young talent change your expectations for the season? Is Dominic Pooney the final piece to unlock our dominance? Every single interaction helps us grow this channel. And your support means the absolute world to us. The off-season is moving fast, the hype is building, and we are going to be right here with you for every single breaking update between now and that historic kickoff in Australia. Thank you for watching NFL Focus. Let us go, let us ride, and let us bring that Lombardi trophy back home where it belongs.